So again, I want to welcome you, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you guys to be here with me today in this series that we feel led to share with everybody, with the whole world. We're just trying to share it and share it, share it. And we're calling it To Tell the Truth. It's a weekly series. We'll be here every week, unless the Lord says otherwise. As long as we're able to, we're going to be here every week. My goal is for 12 months. That's pretty hard, right? My name is Dr. Rosalind Shaw Belt. Everybody calls me Dr. Ross. For those of you that don't know who I am, I've been busy in my lifetime. I am the CEO of Dream to Life Productions and Ministry, and I am a wife. I love that I am a wife of my husband, Adrian Belt. I am also a musician, videographer. You can see the screen. I've done a few things, and I am the VP of Communications at a company by the name of Akana. And I am a certified wellness coach. And everything that I'm going to talk about relates really to that role there. Yes, I received a certified Akanapreneur certification and a lifestyle consultant from Akana. And I went through a course, says, to become a certified wellness coach. So today we're talking about blood pressure. You know, we're living in a community that it's running rampant. It's everywhere. So many people that you know and I know in our families, in our community, have blood pressure problems, and it leads to heart disease. See, 70% of the time, the first sign that people find out that they have a heart problem is too often at death. So if you could, wouldn't you want to know that you have a risk of moving in that direction? And it's not just based on the fact that it runs in your family. I understand through my teaching, through my research, through my understanding of going through my certification, that 90% of heart disease is preventable. So let's talk about blood pressure. Maybe you know what blood pressure is based on just the doctor says you have high blood pressure. But really the question comes to my mind, how much do you really understand what is blood pressure?
Coronary artery disease, or atherosclerosis, is caused by plaque buildup along the inner walls of the coronary arteries, the major blood vessels that supply the heart with blood, oxygen, and nutrients. Plaque consists of fatty materials in the blood that can decrease blood flow to the heart, often resulting in a heart attack. Risk factors include family history, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and lifestyle choices like smoking, alcohol consumption, and lack of exercise. You can reduce your risk by pursuing a healthy lifestyle or by taking medications.
So understanding what blood pressure is, then that means there's something I can do about it.
Now, we know that high blood pressure is a leading cause of heart disease, strokes, kidney disease, and according to the CDC, about half of the adults in the United States have high blood pressure, yet most do not have it under control. In fact, according to the National Ambulatory Medical Survey, high blood pressure was the primary diagnosis in over 56 million doctor's visits. Now, that's a lot of doctor's visits. I, of course, am a medical doctor, and I love seeing my patients. But if you could figure out a way to see your doctor a little bit less by controlling your own blood pressure better, by eating some good fruits, wouldn't you want to do it?
Wouldn't you want to do it? Now, that's Dr. Frida. Her name is Dr. Frida, and that's what she says. But let's listen to a few more wellness experts. Since, of course, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a certified wellness coach, but I always want you to hear from the mouth of people who have gone to school to become wellness experts.
2/3 of adults are now overweight or obese, and we have an epidemic cascade of debilitating disease that's overcoming the country. There's no way we can sustain the current style of care with the epidemic that we're creating with our diet and lifestyle choices.
The diabetes, the arthritis, the heart disease, the dementia, the obesity, the cancers are affecting about 70% of deaths. All the data is that those 70% of deaths and morbidity are largely lifestyle related and preventable.
Most kids by age 10 in the U.S. already have fatty streaks in their arteries, the first stage of atherosclerosis leading to heart attacks, strokes.
Here in American medicine, we operate from the disease model. We are in the business of treating sick people. We are not in the business of trying to prevent people from becoming sick.
When you look at chronic disease risk, all the things that we walk around worrying about, Actually, dietary choices trump smoking when it comes to those risks.
If I could deliver one message to the researchers who are looking for the cause of diabetes and the cause of clogged arteries and the cause of high blood pressure and the cause of obesity, I would tell them the answer's in 3 words. It's the food. It's what Americans are eating.
So see, I just wanted to give you a foundation today, because when I start showing you things that we can do in our own lives, you've heard it from the doctors himself. He said it's the food, diabetes, high blood pressure, all of that. You heard the other doctor, cardiologist, say that we're not in the business of preventing sickness. They've gone to school to treat sickness. That's why it is when you go to the doctor and they find out you have something, then they give you medication to treat that thing. But there are definitely some foods that many of us, and listen, I'm going to ask you to be real honest with yourself tonight. I need you to take the mask off and be honest with yourself, because there are definitely some foods that many of us eat that can increase the likelihood of a blockage. I played that first video so you to understand. High blood pressure is when plaque builds up, blocking the flow of blood. So therefore, now what does it have to do? It has to push harder. And the harder it has to push, the higher the blood pressure is. With that being said, there are also certain foods that work to cleanse those arteries and to keep them open. So should we make some changes?
If you're worried about heart attacks and strokes, then it's important to make sure your arteries are healthy and not at risk of getting blocked. Although some people think heart disease is simply genetic, there are many studies which show that the foods we eat play a huge role in the health of our arteries. Plus, uncover how one simple food switch could dramatically improve the health of your arteries.
So I'm not going to deny the fact that maybe your mother had a heart attack and had high blood pressure, and your grandmother and your great-grandmother, and it's been running in your family. But hasn't it also been running in your family that we've sometimes been eating like they ate? So that means we're going to have what they have.
3 principles. Eat the food God called food: meat, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grain, legumes. That's God's food. Anything outside that is a lab experiment. Eat it as close to its original state as possible. So an example, eat the orange versus drinking the orange juice, right?
Right.
Eat God's whole food, like eat the whole cauliflower versus the cauliflower rice, okay? Like the broccoli shouldn't be mushy, okay? The cabbage shouldn't be mushy. Collard greens shouldn't be mushy. That's where the nutrients are, right? And then the 3rd principle is do not allow any food to become your God, which means no addictions. So that's where the sugar comes in, the sugar, the salt, the chocolate, the chips, like all this.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You're going to hear some stuff. Are you ready? I hope you're ready, because there's some really good foods, but it all starts in the kitchen. If we're going to have a healthy body, and I believe you're here because you want to have a healthy body. I believe you may have family members that you need to call on the phone, make sure they're watching this, because it's got to start somewhere in the kitchen. So here we go. What about vegetables?
We all know that our arteries play a crucial role in transporting oxygen and nutrients throughout our bodies. However, over time, they can become clogged with plaque, a buildup of cholesterol and fatty deposits that narrow the blood vessels, leading to potential heart complications. But fear not, for Mother Nature has bestowed upon us a bounty of vegetables that can be our heart's allies. These superhero veggies are armed with potent antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, and heart-loving nutrients that work together to keep our arteries smooth and free-flowing.
Anybody that's around me for any period of time knows that I am now prone to tell people they need to detox, because we need to get gunk out of our body. Just like we change the oil in our car, we need to detox our bodies. But then after we do the detox, are there some small changes? Maybe a person financially is not able to do certain things, but I hope to show you some things today that everybody is able to do, because we can begin to incorporate certain vegetables. Now, I may show you some that you really don't like, but you can learn to like them. Or I may show you some that you could start at least trying to fix to add to your diet. What about asparagus?
Asparagus is like the warrior against elevated cholesterol. It helps anticipate stopping up of the veins and blood vessel inflammation, and it can get rid of clots that are already present in the arteries. This is because asparagus is full of fiber and minerals that can prevent cardiovascular illness.
Asparagus. Come on, let's go to the store. Let's get some asparagus. Maybe you haven't been eating it, but let's think about starting to add asparagus to your diet. What about kale? Carrots, beets, cabbage, sweet potatoes. Well, let me stop here for a minute because there are two pictures of sweet potatoes. But the one on the left, that's the one you should be doing, not the one on the right. Because see, we love sweet potato, but we're going to load it with too much stuff that all of a sudden now it's not even a healthy vegetable. Spinach.
Spinach is loaded with all the right things. Spinach will also be a great contribution to your health. The potassium and fiber found in spinach helps lower blood pressure and prevents the arteries from getting blocked. The fiber will also lower the bad cholesterol levels. Spinach is filled with lutein, as this helps cut inflammation, which prevents clogging of those arteries.
Now, hopefully by now you realize my purpose of this presentation is not just to tell you that you should eat this, 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 and this, like most of us find out. We get a list of things that we should have, but why? What is it doing for my body? So maybe if I understand why I should be eating spinach, it might make me put some spinach on my salad as well as saute it. It might make me get more bananas and plums and cucumbers because I understand how powerful these fruits are as it relates to pulling the plaque out of the arteries so that I won't be labeled as having blood pressure.
One of my favorite fruits, yes, it's a fruit, is the old avocado. It's filled with monounsaturated fatty acids, and it is excellent for your cardiovascular system. And numerous studies show that this will lower the bad low-density lipoproteins and raise the good high-density lipoprotein cholesterol. This will also help sustain normal, healthy glucose and insulin levels. Avocados are high in antioxidants, including lutein and zeaxanthin, and these nutrients are also very important for eye health as it lowers the risk of macular degeneration and cataracts.
Wow, avocado. Did you know? I mean, did you really? I know you say, I love avocados, but did you really understand how important they are in our lives? What about muskmelon? Now here's something, guys. When I was going through the research and studying to prepare for this, I didn't know what a muskmelon was. I didn't know that the cantaloupe is considered to be a muskmelon. Now, it says all cantaloupes are not muskmelons, but not all muskmelons are cantaloupe. So a cantaloupe is a muskmelon. Never heard that terminology myself. Maybe you're smarter than I am. Cherries. Yep. Cherries are one of the best fruits for blood pressure. Pomegranates. Now, when I was a kid, I used to see people eating pomegranates, but nowadays I rarely see it.
Pomegranate has phytochemicals that act as antioxidants to protect the lining of the arteries against damage. Pomegranates will also stimulate the body's production of nitric oxide, which helps keep your blood flowing and your arteries open. Studies show that this can keep the arteries from becoming stiff and thick. It may also slow down the growth of plaque and buildup of cholesterol in those arteries. Pomegranate is an excellent aid for your immunity. It helps fight type 2 diabetes. It keeps your blood pressure in check. It helps your digestion and makes your skin glow.
Now, at some point, we're definitely going to have a real tell the truth discussion about diabetes, but pomegranates will help your arteries be cleaned out. This is my favorite, watermelon. I remember watermelon as a kid. I remember watermelon when I was waiting to go take my piano lessons, but I didn't until I began to study and listen to some of my mentors, some of my health specialists, how powerful watermelon is. And here's what it made me think about. It made me think about my ancestors. They had watermelon all the time. So does that give me a reason and understanding of how they lived the kind of life without all of the sicknesses and illnesses? Why? Because number one, watermelon is 92% water. Well, see, our body is 70%. We eat too many dehydrating foods like raisins. And then 46 calories per cup. So it's, in other words, it's nutritionally dense. It's got tons of vitamins, but doesn't give you a whole lot of calories. That's what's important. I need those vitamins, A, C, and antioxidants. And then it has a thing called lycopene. Now, when you have a red watermelon, it has 40% more lycopene in it. It's anti-inflammatory. It helps prostrate, LDL reduction, increases your HDL. Oh, come on, somebody, go get me some watermelon right now. It helps heart disease and cancer and muscle recovery. It helps skin by increasing collagen. Do you understand why our great parents, our grandparents, our great grandparents look so good? They work so hard. And then it has this thing called L-citrulline that boosts heart health by boosting the nitric oxide. It increases blood flow, increases libido. Now, you know, they had a whole bunch of kids back in the day. L-citrulline from the white part. Now, how many of you stop eating it as soon as that white part comes up? Well, the next time you're eating watermelon, I'm challenging you to take your spoon, take your knife, and cut a little bit closer in there. Oh, yeah, I know it's not quite as sweet. Forget that. Think about that it's going to help increase the blood flow. And even if you take the rind and put it in a juicer, you can juice the rind. And then the seeds. Who told you that if you ate a watermelon seed, you were going to grow a watermelon inside of you? My. Look at the seeds, rich in magnesium, iron, and other essential minerals. But now, some of you have never seen this yellow watermelon. I was talking to some ladies, they've never ever seen a yellow watermelon. See, I'm from the South, so we have seen yellow watermelons. But what's the difference? The yellow doesn't have the lycopene. So as for me, I want the lycopene, so I'm sticking with the red. And then nowadays, matter of fact, my husband just came from the store, couldn't find a watermelon that had some seeds in it. See, when you have a seedless watermelon, that's because the farmer has put two different watermelon plants together and crossbred. It's like putting a horse with a donkey. And then how difficult it is to pick a watermelon. Anybody ever got a watermelon and you brought it home and it wasn't sweet and you were really upset because you didn't pick it, you did the thumping and all of that, and you're supposed to be able to thump it and it's supposed to sound hollow? Well, here's what I want you to look for the next time. Look for the bottom of the watermelon where it was laying on the ground. If it's not dull, dark, and yellow, then it hasn't been sitting on the ground that long. And then look at the belly button. If the belly button has a green ring around the belly button, it was picked too early. You want it to have a dark ring, like the picture here has a green ring. So he says, do not buy, because that one is not going to be as sweet. So even if you're going to thump and listen, check out the bottom where it was laying on the ground and the belly button. Let's look at berries.
And there's nothing like berries. Raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. They're loaded with fiber. They're low on the glycemic index. They will not spike insulin or glucose levels. They're packed with antioxidants. They'll lower bad cholesterol and triglycerides. These berries are particularly rich in the chemical compounds called anthocyanins. And research suggests that anthocyanins have several effects on the body. They lower the blood pressure and they make the blood vessels more elastic. These berries will also reduce inflammation by lowering the inflammatory chemicals in the blood, such as C-reactive protein.
Wow. Love the berries, blueberries, blackberries, strawberries. Let's load up the berries, guys. Let's get some peaches in our life. Let's get some grapes in our life. Although it's a little difficult now to find grapes with seeds in them, but I'm telling you, we still need those grapes in our life. And I didn't realize, you got the different colors, but some are more important than the others. In general, the dark red and purple grapes are higher in antioxidants than the green or the white grapes. But where are the seeds? What happened to the seeds? Oh, I know. We say, oh, it's so much easier to eat them without the seeds.
Grapes, watermelon, citrus, cucumbers, these were foods that had seeds in them when I was a kid. But now you go to the grocery store, at least here in the United States, and most of them are seedless. So how? Seedless plants are not common in nature, but they do exist. It's called parthenocarpy. And there's actually a clue in the name. Where are my Greek scholars? It comes from parthenos, which means virgin, and karpos, meaning fruit. Virgin fruit means fruit grown without fertilization, and this gives you seedless fruit. If you're a farmer who wants to grow seedless cucumbers, you don't grow them in an open field like you do seeded cucumbers, like the ones you saw in our How Does It Grow episode. You put those parthenocarpic plants in a greenhouse. You lock them up. Stenospermocarpy gives us seedless grapes. This is when the plant is pollinated and fertilized. Seed development begins, but the plant aborts the process before the seed matures. That's why you'll find tiny, soft, ghost-like seeds inside your grape instead of big, crunchy, bitter ones like you find in seeded varieties. So farmers looking to grow seedless fruit will grow entire orchards of just one single variety. And as we saw in our Orange How Does It Grow episode, that means farmers are actually planting clones. The popularization of seedless varieties has made it actually difficult to find varieties with seeds. Now, I know that's not the case in many parts of the world, but it is here in the US, where it seems like, for better or worse, convenience conquers complexity of taste.
Oh my goodness. It's all about convenience. So when I listened to her talking, it made me think, oh, so you didn't let the grapes fertilize. In other words, they can't have no babies. Check out Dr. Bobby Price when he talks about this.
When I was growing up as a kid, I never had grapes or watermelon or any fruit that didn't have seeds in them, but today it's very common. So it's been a short 20-year period where we've walked away from having things that are natural that have seeds in them. So now let's sort of explain or get into why so many fruits today don't have seeds in them. Well, initially it probably started off as this process of making things more convenient, meaning if I can get you watermelon that doesn't have seeds in it, then you can eat it more readily and not have to avoid the seeds, because many people do that. Same thing with grapes, okay? Now, so it probably started off as a hybridization process, but eventually what happened was genetically modified companies like Monsanto came into the picture and created this terminator gene that could go inside of the DNA of fruits and actually remove the seed from the fruit so that the seeds don't grow inside of the fruit. Now, that may look like in the beginning to be a marvel of genius when it comes to adding more convenience so that we don't have to worry about the seeds. But here's where the plot thickens, and now we understand what those type of agro companies were doing, agrochemical companies were doing. What they did was they removed the seed from the fruits, but this is how they sort of removed the farmer from the equation. Now the farmer, instead of using the seeds from the fruits that he was growing, because that's how it works, as I explained before, you can literally take the seed of a fruit, put it in the ground and grow a tree. That tree will then produce fruit. Like I said, that's the life cycle of fruit. But now you have this terminator gene created by Monsanto. It now can go into the DNA of the fruit, remove out that whole sequence for creating a seed. Now you have fruit that doesn't have a seed, and now that fruit can't be used to actually create more fruit because it doesn't have a seed. The same thing like I was mentioning, when a man doesn't have a seed in his body, he's infertile, okay? And even when they created the hybridized versions of these fruits that didn't have the terminator gene, in many cases, these hybridized versions, you couldn't take the seeds in them and then put them in the ground, they wouldn't produce an offspring because they were infertile as well. Okay, so now you have this company that's removing the seed, and now the farmer has to now go buy more seeds from the agrochemical company. This is how they essentially remove the farmer from the equation, and now the farmer has to pay the agrochemical company for seeds that nature was producing in the first place. When you remove the seeds from the fruit and you take it through this genetically modified process, you have to spray it with a lot of pesticides and herbicides because nature will attack something that isn't nature. Okay, real recognize real, so to speak. Okay, so nature will go in and attack this plant that's genetically modified. You'll see all kind of weeds, you'll see all kind of insects, you'll see everything attacking this. So they have to spray it heavily with chemicals. Chemicals like glyphosate, which is known to be a carcinogen and cause cancer. As a matter of fact, when you see the people spraying these genetically modified plants, they're all in a hazmat suit. That's how dangerous the chemicals are. And they're spraying the fruit with that. And many of us are under the impression that we can just simply wash it off and it'll be fine, but that's actually not true. We know that those type of chemicals not only get on the skin of the fruit, but they get inside of the fruit as well. And so that's why it's so important not to eat these type of fruits that don't have seeds in them. Because not only do they not have the nutritional value that the original fruit had with seed, they also can produce things like cancer because they have carcinogenic biochemicals in them that will actually cause you to develop cancer.
Wow. Really makes you think differently. The next time I'm going to the grocery store and I'm looking for it, I want to see seeds. I'm just saying, that's just me. I really want to see the seeds. I know it's the extra work. And then even when we see them, you know, I've seen pictures of those hazmat suits on while they're spraying, but sometimes even when they're spraying on them in the grocery store.
Buyer beware, the truth about grocery store misting, and it may not be just water. Have you ever noticed the misting in the produce section? During a recent visit to Sprouts store in Florida, I was met with a strong chemical odor lingering around the produce as they misted it. It raised a crucial question. What exactly are they spraying on those fruits and veggies? As it turns out, it could be a product called Produce Max. This substance isn't just confined to the misting sprays at select grocery stores, it's even used in pre-cut fruit. It serves various purposes, including misting, crisping, treatment, and washing, but upon closer examination, I discovered that Produce Max, a product of ChemStar, contains ingredients like sodium hypochlorite, commonly known as bleach or liquid bleach. This raises concerns, as while they're using it to mist the produce, they also advise ChemStar customers to avoid inhaling vapor sprays or mists in its undiluted form, precisely what they are subjecting the shoppers to, albeit diluted, within the closed store environment, not to mention when consuming it. Also, the fine print absolves them of liability for any problems arising from the product. Notably, Produce Max is utilized by known retailers, including Sprouts, H-E-B, Harris Teeter, Safeway, and more. It may not be the case at every location. Be sure to check with your store. Are you comfortable with this being sprayed on produce? Share and comment below.
And that's the question. The question is, are we comfortable with it? See, the whole purpose of this is to give us education, to give us the understanding and knowledge so we can make decisions about what we're doing. Because when we're operating in ignorance, what does the scripture say? We're destroyed for the lack of knowledge. All right, so now let's keep looking. Some of the best foods for us to eat for blood pressure. Legumes. Listen, all the beans and the peas, all of them, listen, you need to stock up in them. Yep. Now, the only thing is, you know, I know we love our pork and beans and we love our pinto beans, but the thing is, there are other ways to fix it other than putting the fat back in it. Okay? Don't mess it up with the fat back. The black eyed peas with all the pork and the, you know, pork legs and the pork salt and everything else. There are other ways to do it and still have a wonderful, wonderful taste. We need a lot of nuts and seeds in our life.
Nuts are exceptionally good for your heart and blood vessels. It's the monounsaturated fats that will reduce the total cholesterol as well as the bad cholesterol, which are your LDLs. Nuts are rich in arginine, an amino acid, to make a molecule called nitric oxide, which relaxes constricted blood vessels and eases the blood flow. And nitric oxide vasodilates the arteries. That means more blood can come in with less resistance. It makes it so much easier on the heart. At the same token, all that excessive blood is getting to all the cells of your body, keeping them happy.
Nuts and seeds, guys. Let's get them. I mean, you can use them to snack. Now, you don't want to snack on them too much because you can eat too many of nuts and seeds and cause gain weight. But just to curb that appetite instead of grabbing something that you know is not good for you, yeah, keep you some nuts and seeds around. And then whole grains. Whole grains. We need those, and those are going to be advantageous to our blood pressure, especially the brown, the jasmine rice, the brown rice, the wild rice, the quinoa. Fatty fish.
Eating fatty fish at least 2 times a week, such as salmon, mackerel, herring, sardines, or even tuna, will help beat heart disease and heart attacks. Those omega-3s will decrease the bad fat in your blood, those high triglyceride levels. It will reduce the arterial plaque buildup, and it will also lower high blood pressure.
Yep, we got to have it. Salmon, I love it, love it, love it. You come on, bake it, saute it in the skillet, grill it. Let's, all of the fatty fishes, we love to add those to our diet, have more of those in our diet because we want to help and put us in a position to prevent the blood pressure. Hibiscus tea. Did you know that hibiscus tea is packed with a lot of antioxidants? It helps prevent damage and disease caused by the buildup of free radicals. Did you know that it really could help lower your blood pressure? Now, it should not be taken in combination with your medication, because everything we talk about, the whole purpose of this is for the food to do it to help lower the blood pressure. But if you're taking medication that's already doing that, that's why it should be monitored at all times, because the goal is to not need the medication, right? So it may even help improve blood fat levels, lower your cholesterol and your triglyceride levels in those with diabetes and metabolic syndrome. Hibiscus tea may boost liver health, improving fatty liver disease, and could promote weight loss. Many have taken it, and it contains a compound that may help prevent cancer. And of course, there's going to be a season that we're going to be talking about cancer more intensely, but it could also reduce the growth and spread of certain types of cancer cells. I mean, here's the thing with me. If it could do it, why not try it? I'd rather try hibiscus tea than to try chemo, radiation, or surgery. I'm just saying. It could reduce the growth of certain strains of bacteria, but that's not going to be something that some people in our medical profession may not give you that as a choice. Green tea.
Now, green tea is one of the most powerful antioxidants of any food on the planet. It's called epigallocatechin gallate, and this is known to help break up plaques that are linked to dangerous blockages that can lead to heart attack and stroke. And this will help prevent atherosclerosis, which is that buildup of plaque in those arteries. And if you're also looking to shed those pounds, this will also boost your metabolism, helping to make it easier to achieve and maintain that healthy weight.
But see, that everything I'm talking about, you can find it. You can do the research. We're destroyed for the lack of knowledge. We need the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I need to know, what are my other options? Is my only option that I've got to take blood pressure pills for the rest of my life? Is there something, are there things that I can add to my diet? Or there's some things I should remove from my diet, which we talked about last week, the worst foods that we should take away. So if you haven't heard that particular part 1, you definitely need to go online and find that part 1 video, or ask the person that invited you here, where can I get that part 1 video so I'll know the worst foods. But now we're talking about the best foods. Cacao. Wow. Cacao. I mean, can you really have some chocolate? Absolutely. But it's dark chocolate. Raw cacao tastes bitter by itself, but it's very high in antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins. That's why we want the sweet cocoa chocolate and the sweet milk chocolate. No, I'm not talking about that. So that's why you usually take this cacao and you add the powder to other foods. It lowers blood pressure, plaque with flavonoids, which have been shown to lower blood pressure, improves your blood flow to your brain and your heart. It helps prevent blood clots and reduces diabetes risk. It lowers the chances of heart disease. It even helps reduce inflammation, improves your mood, improves your brain function. Some of us need that right now. It has caffeine, but not as much caffeine as coffee does. And it does have some sugar calories, so that's why it should be definitely used in moderation. Olive oil.
There's no doubt that cold press, extra virgin olive oil can do miracles for your heart and blood vessels. Olive oil will increase your healthy fats, and this will make you feel satiated where you won't overeat. Studies show that olive oil can bring down the danger of having a heart attack by up to 41%. Olive oil is the principal source of fat in the Mediterranean diet. It has potent antioxidants called polyphenols, which slows down the progression of atherosclerosis, which is the narrowing of the arteries because of cholesterol and inflammatory cell accumulation. Extra virgin olive oil is incredibly healthy, and it's great for your heart, your joints, your brain, and so much more.
Did you hear earlier when we were talking about the seeds and the seedless, that several people said, both the lady and the gentleman both said, in other countries, you can't find seedless. Some of the stuff we're talking about in other countries, you don't have this problem. But in our country, that's why we're trying to develop blue zones, where we can live to be old and long, hundreds of years of age, but be vibrant and moving. And so therefore we need to add spices to our diet.
One of my favorite spices is cayenne pepper or chili pepper. It's the capsaicin that can do the magic for your blood vessels. This will help increase circulation, improve the blood vessel strength, and reduce plaque buildup in those arteries. The capsaicin will help dampen that inflammation, and inflammation is what leads to these plaquing of those arteries. In addition, cayenne is also very effective for treating cold and flu symptoms, as it will also break up mucus congestion.
Now, I hear some people saying, yes, yes, those of you that like your food spicy, you're saying yes right now, because guess what? That's going to assist you with your blood pressure.
And last but not least, also one of my favorites is the old garlic. We know what garlic can do for our arteries. It can do magic. It's rich in antioxidants such as vitamin C and E. It will remove those free radicals. When the cells absorb oxygen from the body, the chemical reaction releases byproducts which can damage those healthy cells. And those free radicals is what garlic removes. It reduces the bad LDL cholesterol. It helps widen the blood vessels. It improves blood circulation and prevents hardening of those arteries.
Love garlic, love to add it to everything I'm cooking. What about you? I hope you love it. I mean, listen, it adds the flavor that you need without putting all that salt in there. Just use garlic, use the peppers, all of these. There's so many other herbs and things that we can use to get the flavor. I'm the first to tell you, I gotta have some flavor. Can't be bland.
Turmeric is one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatories due to a compound called curcumin. This not only reduces arterial inflammation, but this can reduce plaquing by up to 26% within those blood vessels. The curcumin has potent antioxidants that help neutralize those free radicals, which prevent cellular damage and degeneration. It also boosts your body's own production of antioxidant enzymes. Turmeric is also linked to reducing oxidative stress on vascular tissues that can increase the risk of chronic disease.
Wow. So now we've looked at a lot of different things, vegetables and foods and spices, but I want you to know that we can lower our blood pressure. And I need you to recognize that. You can lower your blood pressure with foods that are high in potassium, like bananas, strawberries, spinach. You've seen the videos. Garlic that decreases the hardening of the blood. Because I think my mother, she had hardening of the arteries, right? And I wasn't raised with her cooking with garlic. So it could have decreased the hardening of the arteries. Onions. Look at the stuff that's in onions. So did you understand what I said? My purpose is to not just tell you you should be eating bananas and strawberries and spinach and garlic and onions, but why? What is that onion going to do for me? Because you're going to receive it in a whole different light. You're going to look at it a different way when you understand that onions are giving you essential oils and vitamin B complex and vitamin E and vitamin C. When you understand that celery, when you're chopping up celery, you're going to be chopping it up with a smile on your face because you're fixing to get some vitamin D, C, K, alkaline properties and coumarin, and you're going to increase your vascular flow when you start doing this for your family and for your children. So now let's talk about some tips. Tips. When you're shopping, especially when you're shopping for the packaged salads and stuff, check the expiration dates before buying the freshest and the newest bags, because the freshest and newest will often be in the back of the pile. So you may have to undo it. I know you're trying to keep it clean and safe up there and organized, but you might want to reach behind the back of the pile. Then when you're taking it home, keep it cool. Because see, it's been in the package, you don't know how long it's been in there. So it's already, it may already starting to wilt. And then it's better to choose those clamshell containers that pop. And sometimes you have to take a little time to pop it open. Yeah, but that's even better than the bags. Refrigerate it immediately once you get it at home. And if you have things like your strawberries or different things in those containers, take a paper towel and stick it in there to help keep those things fresh and your greens fresh. And then keep an eye on the bottom of the bag, even after you get it at home, because you want to immediately remove and discard any wilted or damaged leaves so that it doesn't cause the breeding to take place inside the bag, because one apple can spoil the whole bunch. And then we want to make sure that our fruits and vegetables. Now, I want you to put in the chat for me right now. I'm looking at the chat on my other device. How many of you have ever purchased fruits and vegetables pre-cut? Pre-cut, because it really just makes it easy. Now you don't have to go home and cut it. You can just go ahead and just purchase it pre-cut fruit. There's your watermelon, your cantaloupe, the whole fruit design there, your vegetables, me. Okay, I see you already. Yep. Have purchased them pre-cut. Well, check this out. Huffington Post, HuffPost now, says why you may want to reconsider buying pre-cut vegetables and fruits. Okay. Here's a company website, MASH. It said the real reason you should never buy pre-cut fruit and vegetable. Oh my God. Now, Dr. Roz, you're asking me to do the work. Okay. So now I'm not going to just give you, just shoot this at you like that. Let's take a look at why. See, the three factors that lead to a nutrient have loss is heat, oxygen, and light. And so when things are uncut, they're protected by heat, oxygen, and light. But as soon as they're exposed, as soon as they're cut, the nutrient now suffers the heaviest hit in the cut fruits and vegetables. So that's why we don't get as many nutrients when it's pre-cut, because there's light all around it. Everything's taking place. They try to keep it cool, but now we're losing some of the vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin E that tends to get lost. Not that it all gets lost, but just understand it has more of a tendency. And these vitamins are antioxidants, which means they react to oxygen. So the peels and the coverings, the peel on the avocado, the peel on the apple, the peel on everything that we get that's already pre-cut, it naturally protects the antioxidant vitamins inside of the fruit or the vegetable. Once you break the covering, the flesh inside is now exposed to air, and the oxygen reduces the antioxidant vitamins. Because number one, you don't know how long it's been sitting there pre-cut, right? Vitamin C is carried by water, which is why it's easier for us to leak out in the fluids released after cutting or in water you may use to rinse the cut produce. Vitamins that are carried in fat, such as vitamin D, do not leach out as easily. But when they're already pre-cut, yeah, it's leaching out. That's why anytime I've bought pre-cut, and I'm guilty too, guys, anytime I've bought pre-cut watermelons, soon as I get it home, it's already ripening. It's already got juice already. I've got to take it and pour off the juice just to try to keep that watermelon fresh from being too messed up and sweet, right? You know, all mushy. Cutting also raises the respiration rate, which results in sugar inside the produce being broken down and carbon dioxide released. This can result in faster spoilage. Didn't I just say that? Faster spoilage. It spoils. Have you noticed? Have you noticed that it spoils faster pre-cut? Because you got to eat it real quick. It spoils faster pre-cut than it does if you bought it whole. I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger. And then most of the other nutrients, including minerals, B complex, vitamins, and fiber, they're not lost after cutting or peeling the inedible rind from fruits and vegetables. From fruits and vegetables with edible skins or rinds, it's best to eat them intact. Like, you don't have to necessarily peel the potatoes, the carrots, or the cucumbers. Now, you may prefer it, but you know you can eat them. You can eat the rind of those things. You can eat the baked potato. Yeah, you can eat the whole thing, the carrots, the whole thing, the cucumber. You don't have to necessarily use your, whatever you call that thing, to get it, to make sure that you take the rind off. Some fruits you do. Time is an important factor in nutrient loss. So if you're going to get them, look at the dates on the package and buy the freshest produce, especially if they're pre-cut. You should only buy pre-cut produce that has been kept refrigerated, as low temperatures also reduce nutrient loss. So you really want it to be cold. That's why some stores you go in, they're really, really cold, okay? And that's a good thing. So ideally, you should eat pre-cut fruit quick, 2 to 3 days. Pre-cut vegetables, quick, within 5 to 6 days. And keep those time limits in mind when you're stocking it up, when you're buying too much of it, and you're putting it in your store, in your house, because remember, it's been in the warehouse or it's been on the shelf prior to you getting it. So rather than not eating fruit, yeah, it's a great grab it go for a snack and making a meal very, very quickly. Just understanding makes you make a decision, or an intentional decision, about when you get it and how long you keep it. And then last but not least, keep in mind, frozen produce. Frozen produce is an option. Frozen fruits and vegetables, because often when they were frozen at their peak of freshness. So that makes them a little bit better for you to get frozen produce. Now, I want every one of you that's watching this to develop some habits, for controlling your blood pressure. Cut out the excessive sugars. Cut them out. Just chop. At least cut them out a little bit, please. Maybe you don't cut them all. I know you got a sweet tooth. But my challenge, and I'm hoping that you have understood something today that will cause you to say, I'm going to do better. If you're that person here right now, and you've been watching, and you say, I will do better, I want you to put in the chat. Come on, put it in the chat. I'm waiting on you, put it in the chat. I will do better when it comes to excessive sugars that cause inflammation, that turns into excessive fat, causing clotting. If you're one of those persons that you have that sweet tooth, you just gotta have it, you gotta have it. Gotta have your cookies, your chocolate chip, your peanut butter, your whatever, your M&Ms, your Skittles, your candy canes, your cupcakes. Come on, put in the chat. I will do better. Thank you. I need some folk to say, I will do better. It starts with you saying that, right? Now, here's another habit. Drink lots of water. Come on, how many of you know you don't drink enough water? If you say, I will do better, put it in the chat right now. I will drink more water. I will put forth the effort. I will put the lemon in the water. I'll put some watermelon in the water to make it taste better. I will do better. Come on, help me, help you. I need you to respond, put it in the chat. I will drink more water. I will do better. I will do better. Why? Because my body's made of water. Put your reminder on your phone that it'll ding every so often. Have you drank some water? See, I got a thing right here, drinking water. I will do better. Thank you. Thank you. Hallelujah. I'm so glad. Here's another habit. Get enough sleep. How much sleep are you getting? Somebody put in the chat right now, how much sleep do you get? 5 hours a night? 4 hours a night? 7 to 8 hours a night? 10 hours a night? Some of you sleep too much. Okay. So come on, put in the chat. Let me know. I see 8 hours. I see 8 hours. Okay, wonderful. If y'all are getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Okay, there's a 6. There's a 3. Whoa, come on now. Not enough sleep. Okay, so get enough sleep, right? And so we're going to say, I will do better. I will do better. If you're not getting enough. Now, those of you who are sleeping too long, and if nobody was over 8 hours, that's good. Exercise. Okay, we need to be exercising something 4 or 5 days a week. I'm talking about, come on, tell me. I will do better because I don't have to ask you, are you getting enough exercise? I know we're not getting enough exercise. So I need you to speak into existence, into your life. I will do better. Put in the chat. Don't stop. Come on now. I need the exercise. If you are not getting enough exercise, if you're not walking, if you're not jogging, if you're not doing any strength training, if you're not doing any cardiovascular, if you're not doing any aerobics, come on, say it. I will do better. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. I see you say, I must do better. I love that. I love that. I love that. Here we go. Keep a positive mental attitude. Ooh, see, we didn't talk about it too much, but guess what? Something that causes blood pressure is stress. Stress. Anybody got stress around you? Stress that you get stressed out about the sun coming up. We just had a hurricane and people were stressed out and still stressed out about different things. When you can't do nothing about it, why are you going to be stressed out about it? So let's do better. Let's do better keeping a positive mental attitude. Let me see you. Talk to me. Yes, yes, yes. I see you. Yes. How many of you will do better to keep a positive mental attitude about everything? All things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God concerning you. Come on. We got to do better. We got to know that it's going to work out. It's going to work out in your favor, right? Breathing. Do you know breathing? See, when you're stressed, sometimes you need to just stop and take a breath. Okay, you have to practice slowing down. Any of you have ever been moving so fast, just things are going so, and you just need to slow down? Well, sometimes it's about taking a breath. So I want you to follow this little ball and do an exercise. We're just going to do it just for a few seconds. We're going to inhale and we're going to exhale. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. See, if you just started doing that every day, it keeps you calm, right? Somebody say, I will do better. I'm going to do better with my breathing. I'm going to do better with my breathing. Put it in the chat. I will do better. Yes, I will do better. Let me see you put it in the chat. I'm going to maybe do this exercise every day. 4 seconds, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. 5 to 10 minutes. I will do better. Yoga, meditation. See, come on. Yoga and meditation will help control your blood pressure. You may not go out to do yoga. You can pull up things on YouTube, meditation, Scripture tells us what to think on these things, whatsoever things are pure and just, good report. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Meditate on the word both day and night. All of these things give us good success. So somebody say, I will do better. I will do better. People think yoga is from the devil. No, it puts your mindset. It's what you think on. It's what you meditate on. Somebody say, I will do better. I will do better. Yes, yes, yes. I will do better. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I need you to verbally, this is not verbally, but you're putting it in the chat to say, I'm going to speak those things into my life right now. I will do better. And then I'm going to deal with my stress. I'm going to deal with my stress, because reducing your stress, see, when you reduce stress, cortisol and adrenaline, when you don't have it, when you don't reduce it, cortisol and adrenaline tightens the blood pressure. So you know what you need to do? Learn the art of saying no. Some of you stress yourself out because you never say no, and you put yourselves in positions where you're always saying yes to everything, and you overbook yourself, you overtax yourself. Listen, somebody say, I will do better. I will do better. That's right, no stress. People quote it and say, cliche, I'm too blessed to be stressed, and then you're still stressed. Well, come on, you need to stop. Just stop being stressed. Alcohol. Alcohol. Now, I'm gonna fess up. I'll tell you, we enjoy a drink or two every weekend or something. But here's what I loved about this study. It didn't say I couldn't have it. Hallelujah. Thank you. Okay, I'm just saying, I'm real transparent here. It said reduce. It said if you're a man, you're supposed to have at least 2 drinks. I mean, not supposed to have, but you can have 2 drinks. Now, it said men over 65, 1 drink. That's a daily thing. Now, I wouldn't think about doing this every day. Okay, women 1 drink. And here's the sizes. See, now here's what makes me understand why people deal with blood pressure, because usually if you're a beer drinker and you're drinking that 12 ounce can, I ain't never seen a beer drinker drink 1. They're drinking the whole 6-pack. See? So you see why it's an excessive about. You see the 8 ounce, you see the wine, 8 ounce, that's not the full goblet. But most times when you're drinking wine, what's wrong with you? Why are you not filling it all the way up, right? And then hard liquor. See, that's just a shot glass, guys. That's just a shot glass. And then so what happens when we do more than that? So we can control our blood pressure, still live our lives, still enjoy ourselves. So somebody, now this may not be for everybody, because some of y'all don't drink at all. So if you are a drinker, you don't have to fess up. You don't have to put, I will do better. I just want you to say it. I will do better. All right. And then I think this is my last one, low sodium intake. I want to take a few minutes on this because I want everybody to start reading the labels. We need to eat foods that have a lower sodium intake. So they have said, the nutritionists and the government says we can have up to 2,400 milligrams every 24 hours. 2,400 milligrams. Now that's quite a bit of salt when you look at your labels. But they also say if you're African American, or if you have hypertension, meaning high blood pressure, diabetes or kidney disease, or if you're over 50, 1,500 milligrams. That's a big difference between that 2,400 milligrams. So now when you're looking at your daily value of the food you're eating, when you look at the can that you just bought or the package that you just bought, how much sodium is in it? Start adding it up. If it says it's 5% or less, that means it's low in sodium. Sometimes it's written by percentage. If it says it's 20% or more, it's high. Pay attention to the serving size. So let me make sense of this to you, and we'll be done. What does that look like? Table salt. Some of you just pour the salt. You haven't even tasted the food yet. And you're pouring salt on there. You're pouring. Now, 1/4 of a teaspoon. 1/4. Do you know what 1/4 of a teaspoon is? You can barely see that. 575 milligrams. So to get to 1,500, you'd get three of those and you're done. But when you pour, That's more than 1/4 of a teaspoon. See, it's about the serving size. And then you say, okay, well, I'm gonna just do sea salt. Well, sea salt, 580 milligrams. Himalayan salt, okay, 560 milligrams. The average adult eats 3,400 milligrams of salt per day, when the recommended intake is 1,500. Twice. I mean, that's more than twice the amount of salt. Too much salt in our diet. Can you understand why we as a culture, we as a race of people, have blood pressure conditions? Okay, but you can find salt in other things, like ketchup. Okay, go and look in your cabinet, because you got some ketchup. And some of you love ketchup on everything, and you just drown it in ketchup. You drown your French fries in ketchup. I saw a lady eat greens, and she put ketchup on her greens. Oh, why would you mess greens up like that? 1 tablespoon is 160 milligrams. And when you take that bottle and you squeeze it, squeeze, it's a lot more than 160 milligrams. 160 times what you just did, 1 tablespoon. Vegetable juice cocktail, 653. Turkey deli. You know, we thought we were doing good. I told you last week how the deli meat needs to be off the table because of the nitrates that's in there. We shared that in the last week's video. But now you see how much salt it is. In 2 ounces, 500 milligrams. And then you're talking about layers of meat. So you done multiplied that multiple times, because you don't want a sandwich with just 1 little slice of deli turkey on there. You just piss somebody off by doing that. Cheese cottage, low fat, 1% milk fat. We think we're doing good because it said 1% milk, but it's got 918 milligrams of salt. Okay, for all you vegetarians, you say, okay, but I'm eating vegetarian sausage link. Well, see, number 1, it's in the package. So because it's in the package, it has to be preserved. So you're getting 300 milligrams of salt per sausage, per link. And you just ate 2 links. So that you're at 600 already. So you're halfway through the day. So that was just breakfast. So now what you doing for lunch and for dinner? Nothing, right? Pretzel snacks. We go to the fairs. We get those big old huge pretzels. 1,025. Oh my God. Don't eat nothing else that's got salt in it all day long. White all-purpose flour. Bam, you just hit the limit. Do you understand? Black people, do you understand why we have a problem? Because we've been frying stuff in white flour. Over 50, that's the daily size. If you're over 50, you already hit it. Fast food, biscuits, egg, and sausage. 1,100. Oh Lord. Okay, I know y'all getting upset now. It's time for me to end. But somebody say, I will do better. Somebody say, I will do better. I will do better. I need to see some people that say I will do better with my salt intake. Yes, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, 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 thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so join us on next week. We'll be here the same place, same time. We've got different subjects we're going to cover. Share with somebody, tell somebody. Once this is downloaded, it'll be available, and ask the person who invited you on how to get here. And in closing tonight, I want to bring on a lady who is just, I'm so proud of her. She is just doing so many things now. She's excelling and she's growing. Miss Anna Gallagher. I'm going to bring her on so she can share her truth. She's a mother, a grandmother, an entrepreneur, an iconopreneur. She's an icona lifer. She's a certified wellness coach, and she is the founder and CEO, her and her daughter, of 2 Chicks to Wellness. Miss Anna, are you out there?
Yes, I am.
Close us out.
I am so glad to share with you all once again 1 or 2 of the things that go on in my household with my daughter and myself, because our household is truly plant-based when it comes to all of our Icona products. And with her having, well, I won't even claim it anymore because she's got a full, you all, I want you to know, her doctor just said that her gut looks awesome. Now, I've told you, I think before, that she was diagnosed over 30 years ago with colitis. They didn't even know what it was. And then just 8 years ago, she was hit with Crohn's. So that was a double whammy. And we went through it. She left home on the 16th of October, 2013, and didn't get to come back into the house. I'm sorry, 2016, and didn't set foot back in our door to 2017 in June. So she was we own, I told you once before, the medical center, but this is what plant-based has done for us. You name it, we take it. And plant-based has helped her body, her gut, to be clean. One of the things that I want to tell you, we always talk about the pain cream, but let me tell you what our Hemp 900 MD will do for you. It will bring your body into balance. Anything you're working with, but I always tell people what works for one may not work for another person. But it has brought my daughter's body completely into balance. So I tell anybody, if you're suffering with major things, of course, always check with your physician, but take that Hemp MD 900, 3 drops under your tongue in the morning, 3 drops in the evening. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. It will make you want to do better. This is our experience in our household. And I will also go back to the liquid relief pain, the pain roll-on. Let me just give you a testimony. This again is about something that happened while my daughter was sick in the hospital. Some of you may have heard it, but in case there's someone on here that has not heard it, they gave her something that did not react good with what they had her on. Her hands were closed like this. She couldn't open them. I had left to come home just to change clothes, take a shower. When I got back, it was so much commotion going on outside of her room. I thought, have they killed my child? I've only been gone an hour. I went in and she was looking pitiful. She said, Mom, I can't open my hands. I don't know what they've given me. And of course, you know, you're not allowed to take anything in the hospital. But as a mother, when you have a child that has been sick, like she's been sick, that every time the doctors come in the room, they're saying, oh, this is the worst case we've ever seen. So of course, I have all of my plant-based products, Bacano, in my purse. I pull out my liquid relief. I take her little hands and I just put it all down between her little thumbs and things and rub it all over, both of them, and reach back behind me, get a pair of the rubber gloves, pull up on it. Within 5 minutes, she's pulling them off. She says, my hands, I can open them up. I can open them up, Mom. So the nurse steps back in and she sees it. She said, what happened? And I just told her, I said, this happened. She said, what is this? I said, this is what, other than God, I said, this is what we believe in. She came in, she looked at it, she went out. They were just screaming and hollering, coming in the room. They couldn't believe it. So we made sure everybody got our card. So I will tell you, if you haven't used your products, use them. Wherever you have a pain, use the pain cream. Wherever you think you're not feeling good, be it your stomach or whatever, use the Hemp MD or just use the 500. I mean, use it. Use it. It works, you all. So with that being said, I'm done.
Fantastic, fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Miss Anna. Thank you for everybody.